Good morning. I started to ask my cards yesterday, I think, about if EU is going to collapse or not. And it's not an overall collapse, it's not what you can imagine. It's just cracking up. Like one piece is disappearing, and then another piece is disappearing, and then another piece is disappearing. And you don't seem to kind of get that back or work your way around it, or so so if you have a very centralized EU, then it's going to kind of trickle out to all the countries instead. That is what is happening. It's not a complete collapse. It's not. Do I think that EU is going to disappear? Maybe not, but it is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and it's going to take time. And we're going to see how, with each new government, with each new, it's going to slowly become less important. So on Thursday, I think she's barely hanging on, Ursula von der Leyen, like barely hanging on. Like one confidence vote, it's bad enough, and she's going to feel like some people that she counted on is not going to be there for her. One person, maybe he's going to say something, and it kind of shows how weak she actually is. And then the other vote comes, and she's like barely hanging on. And I just felt, when I asked my cards, it just felt like Moldova again. Like it's that kind of an energy, how much EU actually has to work to barely hang on, or to barely win, or to barely, like it's a lot. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of like meetings, and I don't know what they are doing. I think they have like an ideology that doesn't fit any longer. It has changed, and they want to change it into something that the rest of EU, the rest of European countries don't want to, and they are not listening. And this is pretty much like if we watch France go through what France is going through. Emmanuel should have invited National Rally in a long time ago and tried his very best to actually work with them. Like, okay, the French people kind of wants to tell me. So I think we went through this. Jimmy Walkerson probably remembers this. He's the leader of Sverigedemokraterna, like the Swedish Democrats, which is the far-right party in Sweden that has been in the leader position for quite some time now, and has done a pretty good job, if I should say so. There is no overall really extremism in Sweden yet. I don't know if it's going to come or not, but he has done a really good job in fixing what the Swedish people actually want him to fix. And now is crime. If he just focus on crime, he will do even better, actually, because that is what's on the Swedish people's mind right now. But in France, you can see that he tries his very best to exclude a really big part of the country and their opinion, because his belief system is that they are dangerous. What they kind of stand for is not something that he stands for or something. So they are not supposed to be heard, seen, or get into parliament or in a leader position. The universe seems to not listen to that. It pushes him quite far. And now he's in the position that either he just gives the budget to National Rally, and he, as the president of France for 1.5 years, needs to be fine with them cutting out pretty much everything that he finds is his way forward. Like he's going to be almost like stuck in France, stuck in Paris. He isn't allowed to go anywhere. He needs to kind of do what's best for France, and he needs to, for 1.5 years, like, be home. And I think that he doesn't want to. I think he wants to be anywhere else but home. So he doesn't like that idea because of his personality. Like and that it doesn't fit. It would be like, what I understand, like a political suicidal thing going on. Also to kind of let them have the stage. However, if it goes towards the parliament election thing, they are probably going to get into parliament and have even more power. So either way he he does that, he pretty much screwed. And then he can do what he always has done in the past, and that is force the budget through, and then just have France stuck. Because that will be like a collapse of the country. Like, it was the work. It's not. It's sort of the shutdown that US is doing, but not really. It's like everything is in a standstill. People will still go to work, but they will not implement stuff. They will kind of be as a hostage for 1.5 years until he kind of lets go of the seats, and then everybody can move on. So in 1.5 years, he would be like less popular. He would make national rally even more popular. And I don't know, he is stuck in that. So he's not getting out of it. I'm telling it like that. He's not getting out of it. His way of doing it, that he doesn't want to kind of move with the currency, that he doesn't want to move with the people, he doesn't want to move with, or he can't, or he feels like he can't, or people around him pushes him to go, like, stand your ground. I think Macron needs to let go of EU. He needs to be home. He needs to, and I think the universe kind of has said this to him, and he just doesn't do it. So now he's forced to. So that I kind of started with, and then my next question became, okay, if Sweden would exit EU, how would we do? And the best cards ever came up. Like, the best cards ever came up. It's like, we have the financial foundation to actually do extremely well. It would give Sweden like energy to be innovative again and entrepreneurial and have ideas and work with whomever we want to work with. And I kind of stumbled upon that yesterday when it just came in one of my readings or my videos that, we need to kind of get this criminal that is, I'm saying he's Turkey, but I don't know where he is. And some with Sweden, the Swedish intelligence needs to cooperate with someone, needs to kind of help, needs something to kind of come that is like a wish fulfillment. It is kind of luck, but it's still not. It's like a cooperation with something. And I was just, because I care so little about EU, which I also know that the Swedish people also do. Like, we care absolutely zero about EU. And it just came like, okay, Russia, if you know where this criminal is, like, hiding, because why would you ask Russia? Because Russia knows everything. They make it their business to know everything. So they know everything. Even if they don't use it, they know it, because it can be good to know it in the future. So if you ask Russia, and even if they might not know today, they might make it their business to know tomorrow, because it can be good to know, you know. So, and that just came to me, and I was just feeling at the moment, I just wanted to F you to EU. Like, you don't tell me that I need to hate Russia. You don't tell me that they are the nastiest people out there. You don't tell me that I can't ask them for help in an issue that is very domestic. And even if they can't help me, that's not the point. It's even if I don't ask them directly either, that's not the point. It is the energy of, if I have a domestic issue that is extremely important for the Swedish people, I want to be free to go and ask a country, a government, some people that I know is extremely good at this, if they could help in some way. Like, do you know something? And EU is kind of destroying that. The freedom of just asking and just have that conversation. And why wouldn't, because no one in Europe, I mean, we have seen what they have done. They can't even figure out who the drone thing is and why it's there and where it come from. Like, it has gone like 2 weeks now and they haven't figured it. I can't ask France, I can't ask England for help. Not that I would, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't help at all, because, and also they are kind of in a mess themselves. So I don't think they care. I think they are in survival mode, and the only thing they speak about is Ukraine and the war, and that we need to spend more money on the war, and that we should not take care of ourselves and our elderly or our children. We should not care at all. And my EU kind of pointed out, my AI kind of pointed out that, yeah, no, but EU is like a trading thing. They feel like this is domestic. Yeah, but it's not. Like, they have pushed it so far. If it was a trade thing, then this war wouldn't be an EU issue. It has nothing to do with Europe. It's not in EU. It's not in our trading thing. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with like, if it's just a trading thing, like economics, we are supposed to open our borders towards each other. Then what's with the immigration thing? What's with all these things then that he has kind of become? And I just felt like it's kind of blurry right now what actually EU is and what it isn't, and what it wants to become and what it should become. If it should be like a trading thing, then they are way off right now. And Sweden exiting EU, like, there was the best card you could ever have. We would be, it would be such a balance. It would be a temperance thing. We would know what to do, when to do it, when to it would be like a perfect split. Like, we have all the papers in order. It's calm. It's like logical and reasonable. It is, yeah, no, we lose this, but we gain it in that instead. So everything that we can kind of come up with, like, yeah, no, we get to work free around EU. Yeah, no, but we get this instead. That is weighing up like that. And financially will be a boost. I don't know how, because that's not my thing, but maybe something that I know is where we are supposed to kind of move towards, where no one seems to believe me when I say, and like people, every time I kind of say something, they will start World War III. Like if I'm saying this and someone is triggered at it, because my last video of Sweden and EU triggered people. Like, some of us love EU, and I'm okay. I don't know what to say about that, because Sweden doesn't care at all. And this triggers people, but we are supposed to get like debt free. That is where Sweden are supposed to go. If we are moving that way, I'm not sure, because the current financial thing is that you are supposed to be in debt, and then you're supposed to pay interest, and then you're supposed to kind of be stuck in this like environment, and then you have to take a loan to kind of pay off the loan that is expiring, and then you kind of, it's like a whole thing. We are supposed to be debt free, and maybe the money that is going towards paying for EU and paying for every other country in EU, because everybody else gets more money. We don't get anything back. We get open borders, fine, but I don't know, trade things and stuff, but I don't know if that actually adds up to what we are paying. And it doesn't matter how big of a sum that is and how much it differs from year to year. It's still the same. We're paying for everybody else for their economy to kind of get a boom. And that money that we are paying to EU might be better off actually paying off our debt instead. I think something like that, Sweden needs to see, okay, what are we spending on EU? Is it worth all these billions, or should we put those billions into actually our own economy? Like, doesn't have to be paying off our debt, but I know that we are supposed to headed towards that, to actually pay it off. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know the economic system, and that everybody should stick to it. We should be all in debt. That is what makes the world go round. I know, and I know it's triggering. I'm probably the number one enemy of the banking system in Sweden right now. Everybody will hate me. I know. I don't care. And that money might be better off to actually start to pay off, because I think that is, like, we're doing so good. Like, we are and it's, my AI says that kind of always, we are the good one. Like, we are the student that shows up with a notepad. We have done our homework. We are nice to the teacher. When we get a problem, we try to fix it. We are calm and composed, and we are nice. And we try our best to kind of, I don't know, be scary sometimes. Like, I saw a picture of our head of military when he said that, yeah, no, everything that will fly over the Swedish border is going to be kind of shot down. And he looked so nice. I was like, you're not scary at all. That doesn't mean that we are not intelligent, because the Swedish people are intelligent. We use our mind, which means don't underestimate us. But we are going to move more and more away from EU, whether people like it or not, whether people in Europe like it or not. We are going to, like, because we feel every time we feel disappointed, taken advantage of, I said this before, like, we're not being listened to, we take our attention away. We are in our own little bubble, in our own little island here, like, you might not know it, you might not feel it, you might not, when Swedes are, we are not there any longer. But eventually it will be kind of noticeable. So Sweden getting out of EU would be a good thing. I hope we actually start to discuss it, because I heard obviously a politician say that, yeah, no, we need to get into the euro. So that is starting to kind of be a thing now, that Sweden is supposed to be changing our currency into what France and Germany, I think, has. And those are the, you know, the students that doesn't come prepared at all. They just interrupt the lecture. They are constantly like fighting with people, and they are like, we need to hate someone over there, and don't do their homework. They, you know, just the bad ones in the class that kind of Swedes need to deal with just because we are in EU. This would be fine if we weren't in EU. Like if I could just watch this and say, you're all crazy, and then kind of move on because we are not in EU, then I wouldn't have mind. Like, yeah, no, do your thing. Like the drama of it down there. But because we are in EU, it's kind of annoying, to be honest. And I think the question about euro is going to be kind of lifted coming up. And maybe that is going to spark if we actually going to be in EU or not. Maybe they are trying to force that on Sweden now, because they want our finances, because we are stable. They want our finances to be connected to their finances, which isn't stable, so they can kind of drag us into bad economy. And maybe Sweden falls for it, maybe we don't. I don't know. I can just say what we are supposed to do. I have no power to implement any of it. It looks really good if we actually exited EU. Like money-wise, independence, do whatever we want to do. Like it's so stable. It's we have a direction. We know where we are going, and it would like take off. And I guess like the stagnation we have been in for such a long time when it comes to jobs, finances, all of it would have a new like energy coming up if we actually said that, yeah, no, our membership in EU is not beneficial for us anymore. And it just feels like it has something to do with how much money we actually pays EU. And it goes towards Poland, like congratulations Poland for all the money that we are giving you. Do they deserve it? Yes, they have been through a lot, but at the same time, when the Swedish people have heard for such a long time that everything is just so bad, like we can't breathe at all, we should, like, it's just not happening, nothing is happening in Sweden, then I don't know, it's not worth, I personally don't think it's worth it to stay in EU. But we all know what is going to happen. I'm everybody's enemy. Everybody's going to say I'm wrong or want me to be wrong. Then I'm going to like go out there, rally the troops to make a point that I'm wrong. And then in 6 months we are going to be back here, and I'm going to say, yeah, no, I told you so. Because I've been through this so many times, done this so many times, and I do have a track record of know what I'm talking about. Even if I'm not, things doesn't always become what I want them to become. Or like, yeah, no, we are supposed to move in that direction, and people kind of block it, or they stagnate, or they want to, or they are stubborn, or they want me to be wrong. I always find my way around it. Okay, fine, you sit there and I move. And then we do something. Like if yeah, I don't know. This is what I've picked up. If you get triggered by this, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what the big deal is if Sweden is in EU or not. I don't get it because it's costing us a lot of money that we could actually like pay our debt, like something that actually benefits us. And I'm sorry for all the banks and bank people that hates me when I say that we are supposed to be debt free. I don't care. And everybody that gets triggered that I say, you know, if I want to ask Russia for help finding a criminal, I will, no matter what the EU says. I will ask them because I want to find that criminal, and they are not helping. They want me to hate someone that I want to ask for help. Like, I don't care. And I just feel like Sweden, the Swedish people, I usually am the first one saying it. So it's just me as a person. I think the Swedish people are headed energetically towards that. Like, we don't care. Like, we do what we want to do because we want to fix this and you are in our way. That is what I think this energy is kind of trying to tell through me. Where Sweden actually is headed, and no amount of media articles, blockages, you're just going to postpone this. Like, you're just going to do what France is doing, and then you're going to sit there eventually and be stuck because the universe has put you in the position that you could have moved through a long time ago. Like, he could have done so much, Emmanuel Macron, that didn't end him in the position that he is in today when he is stuck because of his belief system, and he has to trick his way to force his people, his country, to stay stuck in a situation where he's just going to make the other party, the opposition, more popular. Or he learns how to work together with them. It's up to him. So, I'm done, I think. This was, I hope it makes sense. I hope you, if you have watched this far, that you kind of sit down and instead of going out there and start World War III, because what I have said, you contemplate it and you might see that, yeah, no, Sweden might actually be better off independently from this. Maybe they would, or we would, if you're Swedish, we would actually benefit quite a lot from it, and discuss it with people, like start to lift the, instead of now there's probably going to be like, no, we are going to implement the euro. No, we are going to want to be exiting EU. Polar opposite probably, and it's going to be a fight. And because nothing comes without it, I have noticed. Like, there's always a war, there's always the opposites, there's always, instead of just moving with where we actually are supposed to move. And it looks so good. I can't, like, it looks so good for Sweden to actually be independent from the EU. I want that. I want the energy. I want the spiraling enthusiasm, the feeling of a stable economy. I want that drive forward. Like, we know where we are headed. We know where we are going. And I want the temperance thing, like the balance of, yeah, no, we are letting this go, but we are getting this instead. We can ask whoever we want. We can be neutral again, which I guess the elite in Sweden, whomever they are, I have no idea. I don't know what the elite is even, but I don't work that way. And maybe I should like go and ask people, are you the elite? I have no idea. And they will probably don't want this, even if it kind of benefits them too. In a way, they would, I don't know. That is my experience though. So thank you for watching if you have watched this far. I hope you have a good day, and subscribe and like and comment if you want to.